Welcome to the World Stage Podcast, the show that breaks down the global events shaping our lives. If you appreciate our in-depth analysis, please take a second to like this episode and subscribe to our channel. It really is the best way to support the show.
And today we're tracking a story that has tipped from a simmer to, well, a full boil. Alex, a shadow war in the Middle East, it's just erupted into direct, open conflict.
That's right, Ben. For years, we've talked about tensions between the U.S., Israel, and Iran.
Right.
But this is a new and far more dangerous chapter. What we're seeing are direct U.S. and Israeli military strikes on Iranian soil.
Wow.
This is not a proxy war anymore.
Not at all. And Iran's response, it's been swift and widespread. They've launched hundreds of missiles and attack drones, creating a battlefield that now spans multiple countries. But this escalation has now crossed a tragic line.
You're referring to the news from the Pentagon. Yeah, they have confirmed that several U.S. service members have been killed in action. They've begun that solemn process of releasing their names, reminding everyone of the profound human cost of these decisions.
Absolutely. These aren't just statistics.
No.
They are individuals with families back home, and their loss marks a grave turning point in this conflict. They were reportedly killed in missile strikes on U.S. bases in the region.
And as the fighting spreads, so does the risk to civilians.
Right.
The U.S. has issued one of the most drastic travel warnings in recent memory.
It's a stark directive, Alex. The State Department is telling American citizens to leave, more than a dozen countries in the region immediately?
But how?
The problem is, how? With fighting intensifying, airspace is being shut down, airports are in chaos.
Yeah.
It's a logistical nightmare for anyone caught in the middle.
This brings us to the global impact. I mean, many of our listeners might wonder why a regional conflict matters to them. But this has a direct line to the global economy. Ben, can you explain that energy market connection?
Of course. Think of the Strait of Hormuz, that narrow waterway bordering Iran, as the world's most important energy highway.
Okay.
About a fifth of all the oil the world consumes passes through that single choke point every single day.
And with missiles flying and military operations ongoing right there,
Yeah,
that highway is now effectively in a war zone.
exactly. So any disruption or even just the threat of a closure sends shockwaves through energy markets.
Right.
We're already seeing oil prices spike. For our listeners, that means the potential for higher prices at the gas pump and increased costs for, almost everything.
Wow.
As global shipping adjusts, it's a direct threat to economic stability.
So we have a rapidly widening war, the tragic loss of American lives, stranded civilians, and a global economy on a knife's edge. It's hard to overstate how critical this moment is.
We'll be tracking this closely as it develops.
Now, here's a question we'd like you to think about. As this conflict moves from shadow warfare to direct state-on-state military action, are we witnessing a fundamental, maybe permanent shift in the rules of global engagement? And what does this mean for the future of international stability?
Thank you for joining us on the World Stage Podcast. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to stay informed with us.